everybody, it's Paul from Alexander Knife Sharpening and Laser Engraving. So it's finally here, the KS-123 knife angle setter for Tormek. If you're a Tormek fan like I am, this is something that we have been waiting for years. And I'm really excited to have this and test it out and let you guys know what I think of it. Why might you want this? Well, this was designed specifically for setting knife angles. Now, if any of you have a Tormek and you have to use the regular angle setter, you'll know most of us have never really loved this particular angle setter. It's great for chisels and larger tools, but it's never been fantastic in my opinion, and I think in anybody's opinion that works with Tormek stuff, for knives. As you can see, it's really, these micro little adjustments. We're dealing with really small bevels on knives, and I've never been a huge fan of this. And for the most part, I usually just use the Sharpie method to match existing angles when I work on my Tormek. But I have always wanted a far better designed sharpener angle setter, and we have it. Let's test it out. Now for me, what I always wanted this for, and I'm hoping it will breathe new life into a very expensive Tormek item that I don't use very often, which is my Tormek Japanese Waterstone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this up. I have a very dull shoon that one of my customers brought in. I'm gonna resharpen this knife on my two Tormeks here. So this is the Tormek 250 diamond wheel and the 1200. But then we're going to take it and we're going to go inside my house, because that's actually where my Japanese Waterstone is located, to try and get the angle correct, because as you know, that stone shrinks. I'd never have that issue with the diamond wheels because they don't change size, and even my CBN wheels, they don't change size. But if I pull out the original Tormek wheel, if I wanted to use that, or the Japanese Waterstone, if I'm going from a diamond to those, it's really difficult to do, because then you're having to completely reset the angle. You have to use either the Sharpie method or whatever, and I have times made knives duller trying to go from the diamond wheel to the Japanese Waterstone. So I actually, just kind of stopped using it. For the most part, it just sits there unless I really need it. So let's give this a shot and see how it goes. For setting this, the first thing they tell you, there's a couple things you have to know. It needs to be on the inside of the stone, so it needs to be on this side. You want all 3 points touching the stone, and the first thing they tell you to do is to snap it on. And then we're going to lower this down to where these 3 points are all in contact with the stone. And then the first thing we want to do is set the knife. And you also want to make sure that everything's a little bit loose here, because we might have to make some adjustments. But the first thing we're going to do is set the distance of the knife. And if you ever saw some of the older computerized systems that some guys made, it's a very similar process. So someone kind of used that thought process for this. So the very first thing right now is I'm just going to put this in like I would normally, and I want to set this right here, which is just measuring that distance of the knife blade and the jig. And I'm going to lock that in. Now, once I have that locked in, now I can use this to go up and down to adjust my angle. Now, they do say keep 3 points of contact here. So I do want to hold this down and then make my adjustments. And now I am spot on 15 degrees there. So I'm going to lock this in and I'm going to snap this off. So now, if I have to move this to another wheel, that's one that doesn't have a set size. So like, as you guys know, I normally go from my 250 to the 1200, or if I'm doing CBN, I'm going from 200 to 1000. But I don't have to change anything. I just pull this out and I put it over there. But to go to my Japanese Waterstone, because that shrinks in size and it's not matching these, it was such a pain to try and reset that. So we'll see how this goes with these new setters. Honing solution, if I do grind wet, or I have also used Hone Right Gold, but I do use it repeatedly, and you do not have to replace it every single time you use it. It is expensive, and they say if it evaporates, if you get a little evaporation or spillage, you can just add some water to it and go from there. And that's typically what I do until it really starts to get junked up, and then I will change it. That is what I do. All right, so let's get in here, and I'm just going to start working on this shoon. And since we have a set angle, we're going for 15 degrees. I'm going to go until I raise a burr. And I got to plug this machine in. We are still searching for homes. We are hoping to find a home where I can have a bigger shop and some more space for the laser engraving and knife sharpening. We're actually going to go look at a home tomorrow. Now this knife has quite a bit of chips in it. I usually know about 7 strokes for me to raise a burr, and we're there. We have a burr. It looks good. The tip's going to need a little work to stay consistent there, but yeah, that feels great. It looks pretty good. I'm going to do a little bit more work on it, though. I would like to see, I'm still seeing some chips and things that I would like to get out. So I'm going to do 7 more on each side. It looks like it needs a little thinning. All right, so that looks pretty good. And it is a very good, solid, easy to feel burr there. Yeah, it feels really good. I'm just going to give it a quick wipe and do just a little cut test. And you can see it's already cutting. I haven't honed it at all, but remember what I always tell you. Don't go up in grit progression unless you're cutting at the level that you're at. So I'm at 250. It should be cutting. Don't go higher if it's not cutting. You keep working till you raise the burr and that knife is cutting. I'm going to loosen this. I'm just going to hop to the other side of the machine. This is my 1200 grit. I'm going to do the same thing again and sharpen this on this side at 1200, and then we will go in the house to the Japanese Waterstone. Okay, so now let's dry it off, and here's what I want to do. Let's do a quick best test on it, and then let's take the new angle setter in, go to our Japanese Waterstone, sharpen on there, and then come back out, go to our best tester, and see, did it improve it? Did it make it worse? Did it make it better? Because I have, in the past, had times where the Japanese Waterstone didn't make the knife sharper. It might have given it that nice mirror finish. I'm still seeing a slight burr reflection on here. But I didn't feel that it improved it. And I didn't like that. And there was a period of time where I wanted to finish all honing with just the Japanese Waterstone, because they tell you that you don't have to hone after it. So you don't have to go to your synthetic wheel or your rubber wheel. That can be your final stone. Okay, so here's our U-line. Yeah, it's cutting real nice. Push cutting beautifully. let's do just a quick best test and see what we're getting. Why don't we do like I did on the serrated knives, and I'll even mark it and see if it improves. All right, so let's check right there and right here. All right, so I got two marks, 195, 195. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Exactly the same score 2 times. That shows you how accurate this machine can be. That's pretty cool. 195 both times. So that's pretty easy. I'm not even going to write it down. That should be easy enough for me to remember. So let's go inside and see what we get there. All right, everybody. So this is my Japanese water stone. As you can see, we are inside my basement area. And I brought this in the wintertime when I was working on heating solutions for my shop. And it's been here since. I was doing some sharpening down here. I do have a 600 grit diamond I keep down here. But let's see how this works. So basically, to get this to match that upstairs stone, I click it on. So we did our snap. We want to make sure that everything here is loose so we can make adjustments. We want to bring this down so we have a 3-point connection. So we have our 3 points. And we know we were doing a 15 degrees. So we're going to adjust this down. So I'm going to have to give it a little bit of a push. They say it's easier to go up, so I'm actually going to go up a little bit here. All right, here we go. We're going up, 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 up. And we are right on 15. So I'm going to tighten everything down. All right, so we're going to unsnap. We're done with our tool, and I should be able to sharpen like normal. So I'm going to do my normal, I'm going to do 7 strokes. And we got a beautiful mirrored edge there, that's for sure. All right, that was 7 both sides. I'm gonna wipe this blade. All right, let's wipe it. Wiping down and away. Whew. It feels really good. Give it a quick push cut test. It feels fantastic. Let's go back to the shop and do the test. So pretty easy to remember. Our last time we had matching scores of 195 on each one mark. So let's see if we improved it with the Japanese water stone and how easy it kept the same angle and everything else. So we'll turn it on. We'll wait for it to clear. I'm lining up on that first mark. 146. All right, that's good. And let's go to number 2. I'll be really amazed if it's 146. That would really blow my mind if we happen to get the same number again. That would be really impressive if we get the same number twice. Okay, here we go. 178. All right, so pretty good improvement with the Japanese water stone. What I'm really thrilled about is that I didn't see it get worse, because I have had that happen before, and that used to really disappoint me, but it was probably something that I wasn't doing right or wasn't setting properly. So we now have a nice mirrored finish on there, on that edge. One more quick point I wanted to add in here. I just wanted to talk about the compatibility, because I'm sure someone's going to ask this. It does work with all of the original Tormek jigs and the new Tormek style jigs and the small knife jig. All will work with the new knife angle setter. So you have your KJ45, your KJ140, your SVM45, SVM140, SVM00, and the KG45 centering jig or SVM45 knife jig. All work with the new angle setter. So if you have one of the older style jigs, Don't worry, it works with all of them. Okay, so that concludes our test of the KS-123 new knife angle setter by Tormek. I can definitely give this my stamp of approval. I just wish we had had this thing years sooner. Much easier to use than the old angle setter. I think for anyone who's been struggling with setting angles on the Tormek, which I think is just about everybody when it comes to knives, will really appreciate the engineering and thought that went into designing this. It works very well. As I showed here today, many times I made a knife more dull going to my Japanese waterstone after my diamond stones, and just the fact that it did not do that, that it actually improved it, proved to me immediately that it properly set that angle, which was great. That's it for now. I will put a link to this in the description of the YouTube video for those of you that are interested in purchasing the new Tormek knife angle setter. If you haven't, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're getting very close to 10,000 followers. I'm really hoping we hit 10,000 by the end of the month. And have a great day, everybody. And let's wrap this video up for now, and I'll see you soon.